Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as always, I'm trying to find new ways of actually passing the challenges, trying to make it as easy as possible and relay those ideas to you. So obviously, hopefully you can take those on board and try and de-stress the ability to pass some of the challenges, because we know it's difficult. A lot of people struggle to get the 8 or 10% in the phase one, and then obviously even in the second phase, don't have the mental ability to go forward. So always looking at the end goal of getting a payout. So what I thought to do is look at FTMO and how we actually break that down into 3 fundamental steps to make it a lot easier. So FTMO are probably regarded as one of the top prop firms out there at the moment in the challenge spaces. So obviously in the first part of the challenge, you need to get 10%. In the second part of the verification, it's only 5%. But obviously what they have is a very good extension process. So if you are able to get 5% in phase one, not breach any of the max drawdown and max daily loss, then you're automatically entitled to an extension of 15 days if you are over 5%. And that got me thinking about, can we actually make it a lot simpler? Now I was thinking of sort of comparing this to an analogy of an all-you-can-eat buffet, where often we go in and want to get a huge big plate and just fill it up with every type of food possible. We get back to our seat and start trying to consume this huge plate of food and just get halfway through, struggle and just can't do any more. But if we take the approach of a smaller plate, go up one at a time, we start with our starters, go through all the way to the main courses and our desserts, we end up consuming more food and actually in a more pleasurable way. So the same thing with FTMO. If we take the smaller approach and try and break it down into 5% chunks, so in our first 30 days, we are aiming only to get 5% and get that free extension. And always with advice I give starting challenges is try and start on a day where markets are moving or your particular setups are looking strong and profitable. So it could be that on day one, you're actually able to get a 1, 2, 3% actual trade and get into a good profit and hold that for all the way through the multiple weeks and just sort of keep building on that to get to that 5%. And ultimately that 5%, because you're visualizing a smaller target, is easier to achieve, and with less stress, less pressure, you might break way beyond that and get 7, 8, 9 or even the 10% in the 30 days, who knows. But without that extra pressure of trying to achieve the bigger target and just going for the smaller one, we're able to just think about it in a different way and get that extension and then start again from scratch. And of those 15 days, just work on getting that extra 5%. Now, although it's obviously a smaller period of time, it's still the same target to achieve. But I do believe with half the pressure already gone, that second half of the challenge would actually be a breeze for a lot of people out there. And even if they get to, let's say, 1 or 2 days from the end and are at, theoretically, let's say 8%, for me, that's the point where you could potentially risk, let's say 4% in one day on one particular trade, just to get over the line. Now, knowing that if that trade does go against you and you lose that 4% because you're on a much bigger lot size, then because you haven't violated the max daily drawdown of 5% and you haven't violated the overall loss and you're still in profit, then you're going to get that free retake anyway. There's no pressure. It's a simple trading exercise. Just place the trade and take the profits. And if you've gone through those first 2 phases, made 5% in each, then the verification phase, again, is only 5% over 60 days. Using that same mentality and philosophy, you've done it twice, you've proven it to yourself, and that third phase and verification should be straightforward to be able to get 5%. Now, we know that sometimes the mindset kicks in and we've already looked beyond hitting that verification and we're already taking our first profits and spending it. It's staying focused in the moment and just working on one particular phase at a time. And I do believe that if you apply that approach, you're going to find it a lot easier to pass these challenges, especially with FTMO. Now, there are other prop firms who do extensions. It's not as widely advertised on their websites, or it's not as easy because it's not automated. But if you are looking at going with other prop firms, do ask them in advance if they have that extension process. But I know that FTMO has it, they advertise it, and they promote that. So I do think that going with them first is probably the best way forward. So hopefully by breaking it down to small chunks, that allows you to an easier way to pass the challenges, and this video has been quite useful to you and informative. So as always, see you again next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.